Tonight, Washington is buzzing. Democrats and even 4 House Republicans have signed on to a petition demanding the full release of Jeffrey Epstein-related documents, a move that could send shockwaves through Capitol Hill and straight into the White House. Earlier today, Democrats on the House Oversight Committee released a new batch of files, documents they claim directly connect former President Donald Trump to Jeffrey Epstein. We're talking about 23,000 pages of records. That's right, 23,000. And buried inside them, a 2011 email from Epstein to his longtime associate Ghislaine Maxwell, the woman already convicted as his co-conspirator. That email reads, "I want you to realize that the dog that hasn't barked is Trump. Virginia spent hours at my house with him." According to the White House, Virginia refers to Virginia Giuffre, one of Epstein's most well-known accusers, who tragically died by suicide earlier this year. Democrats say they redacted her name to protect a victim of sex trafficking. Republicans accuse them of hiding evidence. And the fight over those redactions? It's just beginning. Transition beat. Visual cut to file footage. Now let's be clear. Trump did socialize with Epstein in the 1990s and early 2000s. He even admitted that once, saying Epstein liked beautiful women, many of them on the younger side. But Trump insists he cut ties with Epstein before his 2006 arrest. And so far, Trump has never been charged or formally accused of any crime related to Epstein. CBS Justice correspondent Scott MacFarlane broke down what's inside the latest files, and its massive 23,000 pages, released in waves. Democrats even published a cheat sheet with excerpts they say are most relevant, including another email written by Epstein in 2019 stating, Trump, of course, knew about the girls. He asked Ghislaine to stop. Republicans are calling this selective editing, accusing Democrats of cherry-picking evidence to damage Trump politically. But as investigators keep digging, there's growing pressure on the White House to respond. Segment shift, cut to White House. At the White House, Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt pushed back hard, saying the emails prove absolutely nothing other than that President Trump did nothing wrong. Meanwhile, Trump himself took to Truth Social, claiming Democrats are only reviving the Epstein story to distract from their failure to handle the government shutdown. Trump wrote, "Only a very bad or stupid Republican would fall into that trap." That line seemed to be aimed at the 4 Republican lawmakers who joined Democrats in signing the petition to release the full Epstein records, among them Colorado Congresswoman Lauren Boebert, who recently met with White House officials and then thanked them for their transparency. But despite that meeting, Boebert isn't backing down. Her signature remains on that petition. Behind the scenes, the pressure is mounting. Democrats believe the American public deserves to see everything Epstein's estate has been hiding. Republicans warn it's a political hit job dressed up as transparency. And while this political storm unfolds, Congress is also racing to end what's become the longest government shutdown in U.S. history. White House officials say President Trump is ready to sign the new funding bill as soon as it hits his desk, reopening federal agencies and bringing back the 6,000 government employees fired during the shutdown. But even as that crisis nears resolution, the Epstein files are once again casting a long, dark shadow over the White House. And as 23,000 pages of secrets continue to unfold, one question remains: what else is hidden inside? Because as history has shown us, when it comes to Jeffrey Epstein, the truth always takes its time, but it never stays buried forever. It's one of the most politically charged document dumps in years. A fresh 23,000 pages of Jeffrey Epstein-related files, emails, letters, court records, and financial notes have been released by the U.S. House Oversight Committee. And inside them, one name is drawing the most attention: Donald J. Trump. Democrats say the emails show new ties between Trump, Epstein, and Ghislaine Maxwell. Republicans say it's a political smear designed to distract from the government shutdown and an increasingly divided Congress. So, what's really inside these files? And how could they reshape the political landscape heading into 2025? Let's break it down. The story begins with a bipartisan petition. Not just Democrats, but 4 Republican lawmakers have now joined the push to make Epstein's files fully public. It's a rare moment of cross-party alignment in Washington. But this unity comes with risk, because the implications reach straight into the Oval Office. The House Oversight Committee released a batch of Epstein-related records, describing them as unfiltered evidence of how Epstein maintained access to powerful people, and how those connections may have shielded him for decades. Among the documents, financial records linking Epstein's network to political donors, a series of handwritten notes, and perhaps most explosively, a 2011 email Epstein sent to Ghislaine Maxwell referencing then-business mogul Donald Trump. That email reads, "I want you to realize that the dog that hasn't barked is Trump. Virginia spent hours at my house with him." According to the White House, Virginia refers to Virginia Giuffre, one of Epstein's accusers, who tragically died by suicide earlier this year. Democrats say they redacted her name out of respect. Republicans claim the redaction was politically motivated, arguing that transparency means full disclosure even when the truth is uncomfortable, and that fight between transparency and protection now sits at the center of this storm. While Democrats emphasize that the email connects Trump directly to Epstein's victims, legal experts are more cautious. Former federal prosecutor Emily Carter explained on CBS News, "An email alone doesn't establish criminal behavior. It does, however, raise questions about awareness, who knew what and when." In a separate 2019 exchange with an author, Epstein wrote, "Trump, of course, knew about the girls. He had asked Ghislaine to stop." That line, "asked Ghislaine to stop," has become the most debated sentence in the entire release. Democrats claim it implies Trump had knowledge of Epstein's activities. Republicans say it actually suggests Trump disapproved once he learned about them. So which is it? So far, there's no direct evidence that Trump engaged in or facilitated Epstein's crimes. But politically, even proximity can be powerful and dangerous. Trump himself addressed the issue years ago, telling New York Magazine, "I've known Jeff for 15 years. Terrific guy. He likes beautiful women, many of them on the younger side." That quote, once forgotten, is resurfacing all over social media, spliced into new viral clips that link Trump's own words to the 23,000-page release. The timing of the release couldn't be more volatile. As the longest government shutdown in U.S. history drags into its final days, both parties are desperate to control the narrative. Democrats say transparency on Epstein is about accountability, and that the American public deserves to know who was connected to the disgraced financier. Republicans say it's a distraction, a political smoke bomb to shift attention away from the chaos of the shutdown. President Trump himself wrote on Truth Social, "Democrats are bringing up Epstein to deflect from how badly they failed on the government shutdown. Republicans should stay focused on reopening the government. No deflections." He added, "Only a very bad or stupid Republican would fall into that trap." Those words appeared to target the 4 GOP lawmakers who broke ranks to support the petition. One of them, Colorado Congresswoman Lauren Boebert, even met privately with White House officials last week. After the meeting, she posted that she had thanked the White House for transparency, but she has not withdrawn her signature from the Epstein Records petition that insiders say has fueled internal tension inside the Republican Party. Some members of the GOP argue that releasing all files is the only way to clear the air. Others fear that unverified claims in those documents could cause irreparable political damage, even if proven false later.